Welcome to the Atmel Edge. My name is Paul Rako. In this episode, we're going to do a system-level redesign. We're going to begin it for a popular sprinkler clock. They're sometimes called sprinkler timers. What this product does is control 6 of these sprinkler valves that turn on various sprinklers in your home or garden or in a commercial setting. This product, I bought this very product myself a year or two ago, and the programming's a little difficult. I love it because it's small. It'll control 6 valves, so that's really remarkable for something this small. What I didn't realize is the small size makes the user interface a little bit more difficult than it has to be. So we're going to go through this from block diagrams, kind of looking at what we have, trying to program this one, seeing what that's like, and come up with an alternate, and then apply some technology that Atmel can help you with. Things like button wheels and sliders, where you don't need physical discrete switches anymore. You can just have a circuit board and have an area on the circuit board where we can implement various control functions and let you program this thing in a much simpler and more intuitive way. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to look at the overall system design and what we can do to improve this product. I have a kilowatt to look at power. It's reading 0 now, like you'd want it to read. So I haven't connected both wires to the sprinkler clock. So let's just plug in the transformer, a watt. It's pretty significant, not horrible. I like the mechanical design of this. You can slide back this cover and you get the battery compartment up here and then the connections. This is going to be a little sketchy because we're doing it live, but the people do it to my products, I'm going to do it to theirs. So we're going to hook up the 24 volt AC. Sprinkler clocks run on AC. If you run them on DC, the wires and the valves and all the stuff in the ground corrodes terribly. So this is an AC transformer, AC going in here to run sprinkler valves. Here's a sprinkler valve. So let's look at our 2 watts. So quiescent power, 2 watts. That's just nothing plugged in, nothing running. When you're doing this, you should make a little list. Things that you don't like so that you can redesign them. And right now, what I don't like, the manual that came with the product, tiny, tiny type. If you own a home and need a sprinkler clock, you're probably a little bit older and can't read like 0.2 pico type. So manual, small. What else? It's well written in the terms of the syntax in the English, but it's hard to understand. Hard to understand, and we'll give you links. You can go read it yourself and see what you think. Hard to understand. Now, the next problem I had, you just saw I had to use this tiny little screwdriver. I had to dig and dig to find one small enough to fit these tiny little terminals that they use. So that's something I'd like to improve or change if we're going to redesign this. And I'm hoping to take this all the way to hardware and put it open source and you folks can all play with it. Tiny terminals. Tiny terminals. And next, and to a musician like myself, where you're always running out of batteries. The batteries are always dying in your stomp box, ruining your performance. I hate that the product needs batteries. None of the programming or functions work because the batteries power that. The 24 volts must just go to some triacs or SCRs that run the sprinklers. So let's get in. It's kind of clever. I do like this. You put the battery in here and then slide it. That's kind of cute. Good mechanical engineering on this. And all the segments light up. We'll get an insert shot of that. It's gorgeous. All the LCD segments light up. It reads 12 o'clock. So the first thing, let's see if it works, right? If the way a customer would use this, first thing you're going to do is wire it to the sprinklers. So once again, because everything's tiny in this world, I have this junker sprinkler I got from my friend Everardo. I'm going to wire that. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, try it again. I'm starting to lose my patience. They should make people do this in the rain, or better yet, a hailstorm on gravel. And then maybe the product designers of the world will understand. I'm wiring it 1 to station 1, and then there's a C. I have actually started to rewrite the instructions in what I consider simpler. So, because I read the manual 400 times to understand it, I know you can press this a few times and it goes around and around. Finally gets to manual. It's in manual mode with the little triangle flashing above the 1, so we should hear. I can put it right here so you folks hear it. Turn it off. What I like is there's a little delay. I don't know that I like it. It's just interesting. When you press the on button here, or these 4 buttons, it turns on instantly, but watch it. Going off, there's a little delay. So let's turn it on. Oops, I can see I accidentally kicked it out of watts. 5 watts. So it's taking 5 watts now. We know 2 go, 1 goes into the transformer, 1 goes into quiescent current in the product. Who knows what the battery is, probably minuscule, and then a couple of watts here. I don't want to burn this up, so we'll turn it off. So that's a little hardware characterization that we've done, and we kind of know things work. That's good to go. I'm going to stop here and get some close-up shots for you and start going through the programming. And that's where I think, with a redesign and rethinking and using some modern, cool person things like button sliders and wheels. So see here, there's no physical button. It's not expensive. You can put 1,000 of these buttons on the same circuit board. There's no real cost other than 3 more pins. Every button needs a couple pins. Every wheel needs 3 pins on one of our microprocessors. So you can see the intensity changing there. So let's keep going. I'm going to tear it back down. We're going to get up some close-up shots so you can watch the programming, and that's something I have a problem with this product. So, catch you in a second. Okay, you can tell that I'm not just the only one having troubles programming this product. You go on Amazon where the product's listed. Look, you can see it's got a low star rating here. Let's go look at these 10 customer reviews. Couldn't agree more. Wanted it several months. Find it pain to use, clumsy and old style. The interface is involved, non-intuitive, small, hard to see. Text mask, well, that's just a little production problem. Very difficult and confusing to program and use, and it has bugs. Here's a money quote. The software seems to have been written by someone who flunked software programming. Awful. Don't buy it. Not everybody's unpleased. This fellow used it for rental unit. Works okay. Great little controller. Here's another. Interface is horrible and not easy at all. Fuse bad. I'm a hardware guy. You can't blame the company for an occasional bad fuse. And he probably shorted it out. But poor quality. Interesting. See, they say poor quality. The product's got great quality, especially the mechanical engineering. Could not get this product programmed. So right there is proof of the pudding. Did not work, did not get a, okay, that's an irrelevant one. There's a lot of things here that show that people are having trouble programming it. Now, to the credit of the Toro Corporation, they created this online, I found this through Google while putting the product name in, they did this whole online programming assistance. And the Google page took me here to page 19. So let's try it up this way. Sprinkler Basics, page 2, page 1, and it's got animations, and it's got Explore, and it's, this is really fancy web programming stuff, and little hover helps to explain what stuff is. Problem is, explaining what it is doesn't tell you what it's for, why it's there, or how you should use it. So this is a common technical writing problem. Page 1, page 2, 3, 4. In other words, get a computer science degree, and pretty soon you'll be able to understand. In my mind, knowing that Toro's in Minnesota, they're nice people that, you know, had some crappy embedded programming for the product itself, and then this web programming, I find it as complicated and as hard to understand. Toro's a good outfit. We're going to get back to the show now and show you some of the things that we're thinking of to make this product more intuitive. All right, I mentioned that I didn't like products with batteries because the batteries are going to die. Worse than that, the memory for the program is volatile. If the battery dies, you lose all this programming that we're going to show you right now. So let's plug these batteries in. Hopefully we can see it. And I'll try to go through the programming. I will need spectacles because us young people must design products these days. So we've just applied power. It wakes up in the set time day right here. It shows Sunday at 12 a.m., which is obviously wrong. So what you want to do is day's station. It happens to be Tuesday today. And then here, I always forget, I think, let me go this direction, see if it's, no, that's PM. That's exactly what we want because it's in the afternoon. Look, it's about 4:30. So you hold this down, you hold this down, you hold this down. 4:30. Okay, so now the time, the day is correct, Tuesday. This is something else I don't like. Needing to program the date. Need day and time. It doesn't have to, the sprinkler doesn't have to go off within the minute. I just want it to go off sometime about 2, 3 in the morning. See if we can figure a way around that while simplifying the product. So it says next step here. Let's try that. Watering time. So now what this, the thing that was so hard to understand in the manual, see this right here? Program 1. So it's program 1 watering time. And it's for station 1, that one we had hooked up. So there's 1 through 6 here. Interestingly, they're numbered in reverse order here, 1 through 6 to the right. But let's pretend that we have 3 of these hooked up. We have 3 sprinklers. And the first one, when they say watering time, this is just a translation error. I have to assume the product was designed offshore. It's not watering time. To me, that means, 2 in the morning, turn on the sprinkler. What they mean with watering time is watering duration. How long are you going to run the sprinkler? So, making sure we can read this, let's go up. Let's do 5 minutes. Are those seconds, minutes? I guess 5 minutes. Then you go station. We want 1 and 2 to run for 5 minutes. Go up 5. I think that's 5 minutes. I hope it's not 5 seconds. So now, next step, the days on or off. This is another thing I don't like. Let's jot it down while we have it in our head. Specific days. Here's the problem with a 7-day week that we've used since the Roman times. It's not divisible. So unless you're doing once a week, you're going to sprinkle on Thursday, which isn't very likely, it's not a useful thing. Now, they've built a feature in. It's kind of hard to get to. You use the day button here. It's flashing at Sunday, you'll notice, right here. So use the day button, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then it goes here. The arrow points down here like an afterthought. They fit it in. Days cycle. What this says, it'll never turn on. Go up 1. This means it will sprinkle every day, and it will start that sprinkling 1 day from now. If you set it to 15 days, and let's go down and see. Yeah, 14 days. What it would do is you could set it to 14 days, starting 14 days from now, and then 5 days later you'd come and it would say 9. Say 14, starting in 9 more days. But we want to do the first 2, 5 minutes every day. That's my, not roses, my little geraniums and some other stuff that I have, some cactus in the front. Just a little bit of water every day. So, okay, fine. Next, P1, oops, maybe we didn't put it in. Maybe we waited too long. 1, 1, good. Just keeps going around and around, 1, 1. So then next step, this was also quite confusing. 1, 2, 3 here on the edge. This thing allows you to turn it on 3 times a day. Now, maybe if you're selling vegetables in San Jose, you want to spray your vegetables 3 times a day. I just need the thing to turn on once a day. I'll make it long enough to give enough water. So here, now they're finally asking you, what time of day do you want to turn it on for the first time of that day? So 12 a.m. I already did this and I've forgotten already. It's quite embarrassing. PM. No, I want this thing to go off. What do you think? 2 in the morning? Well, that was nice. Changed faster than I think. So okay, here. So 2 in the morning. It'll go off here the first time. So next step, it points to off. I don't want it to turn on more than once a day. Very difficult to understand in the manual. Third time, I don't want it to turn off again. Okay, then you press one more time, and it's saying watering time. You get very confused. What's going on? I just did this. Notice here, over here, it says P2, program 2. And what's so impossibly hard to decipher, because I just assumed you could set any station of the 6 stations to go off as often or as infrequently as you want for as long or as short. Doesn't work like that. A program is how often it goes in the week. Once a week, every 3 days, every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, all that business. So now program 2, it allows you, before I was going every single day, now we can say watering time 1. Well, 1 and 2 we already did. So let's go to number 3. Well, I want it now to go 15 minutes because this is the grass. But I don't want to water the grass. Oops, 57 minutes. Maybe that's a little excessive. Let's go back down to 15. 15 minutes. Okay. And if you go one more station, off. If I go too far, it's going to give percentage of time, and it gets you dead-ended, and it's horrible. So I'm not even going to go there. Next step. Okay, it's done watering time for program 2 on station. Here we can go. Well, no, I can't. I can't move it. Trust me. I've been here. It's been hours to figure this thing out. Okay, next step. Days on or off. Once again, for program 2, how often do you want it to work? Well, I think it's ridiculous to try to pick a day of the week. That's just me. So I go day station all the way around here. And instead of not 0, 0, not going on all, 3, 3, 3, which means every 3rd day, I'll water the lawn for 15 minutes, and it'll start doing that a few days from now. All right? Next step, the first time of that day. Well, let's make that this is almost painful. We did the other one at 2 a.m. Let's do this one at 3. So at 3 a.m., it'll go off. That's your first watering time. Next step, second watering time. I don't want to do it. It's not a vegetable stand. So I'll leave that off. Next one, third watering time. So we've gone around twice. Once for program 1, once for program 2. Next step, manual. Also very confusing. There's 3 manuals. This is manual. It doesn't say P1 or 2. When you press the station, pick one of these stations, and it just rolls around. Hooray. Say on, that power goes to that station. Say off, it turns off. Now press next step again. Notice it says manual. It's got a little triangle by manual, but it says P1. Which means when you press on now, it runs that program. If you have 6 sprinklers going or 6 stations, whatever it is, it's going to go through that sequence. It won't turn on more than one at a time. It doesn't have the power. This little transformer and the size of that valve, you can tell. It won't be able to do that. So even if you tell it to turn stuff on at the same time, it's smart enough to say, well, I can't do that. So when I'm done with program 1, valve 1, program 1, I'll do valve 2, valve 3, valve 4, and then go to program 2. So here we are, manual, program 1. If I hit on, it would run through those 2, 1 and 2. See how confusing this is getting? So let's go next step. Now all that's changed is P2 has shown up, program 2. So manual, little triangle here, P2 right there, turn on, it'll run program 2 and show that this insanely complicated programming you just did actually took. Next step, we're back home. This is like the quiescent state where the little triangle is pointing to auto run off. And what's nice there is you press off, it says off. Now it won't work at all. None of the valves will turn on. Press on, it runs. So if you're going out the driveway and you just want to turn it off, you hit one button. You can kind of see the intent. It's just so, after 6 months, I accidentally picked it up. I was cleaning up. I must have hit some buttons, got it misprogrammed. Took a day to figure out. And what hung me up that time was forgetting that, oh no, program 1 can only go off, either you go every day or you go every 3 days or you go certain days of the week. That's all a program can do. And I kept trying after I said, oh, I want these two to go every day. Then I'd still be in program 1 and I'd try to say, but number 3, I want to go every 3 days for 15 minutes. And it would just be in a loop. It's like, what happened to the first ones I programmed? I think with the addition of some Atmel technology, button sliders and wheels, I talked to Andreas, one of our brilliant marketing guys. He said, you might want to think of using a SAM D20 for this. He said every slider takes 3 pins, every wheel takes 3 pins. So next show, we're going to architect, I'm going to talk about what I don't like and how we can get rid of the batteries and do things like that. And it's not going to have all these whizzy features. You won't be able to start it down to the second, but I think it will serve the same function and will be much more obvious and intuitive. And because Atmel processors have non-volatile memory, you don't need the batteries. So there's a lot of cool things you'll see. We'll start drawing block diagrams. We'll start showing what's going on. And I ordered an extra one from Amazon that we can tear apart and see what microprocessor they used, if anything else. So thanks a lot. Thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for sticking through that incredibly tedious programming. And see you next time for Sprinkler 201. Right now, Atmel Edge, I'm Paul Rako. Thank you.